What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most important video, the most important subject, topic covering silver, its price, and the future, not only of silver, but to be honest, the earth, right? When we're talking about going green, saving the planet, silver plays the most critical, vital role. Silver is in these solar panels, PV cells, photovoltaic cells. That's silver. Electric vehicles. That all requires a lot of silver. But do we have enough silver to make the entire world go green? We simply don't. So, what is going to happen? What's going to happen? What is Elon Musk gonna do with his business? Not only if he can't come up with enough silver, but his cost of production when silver does start to explode. I mean, Mike Maloney did the calculations. It would be 786 million if he buys silver at 25, but 3.145 billion if he buys at $100. So then we have situations to think about. And there's other articles, Elon Musk trying to distract retail from silver, because if he did come out and start talking about silver, it would explode the price. I mean, he tweeted 4 letters, DOGE, Doge, and shot the crypto coin Dogecoin up thousands of percent. When he talked about Bitcoin, it skyrocketed. When he talked about not using Bitcoin, it crashed. He has that power. So obviously he's not going to come out and talk about silver or physical silver, but I'm sure he is buying it. He's smart, right? I mean, he acknowledged David Morgan, which we're actually going to be covering a video, David Morgan getting interviewed of will Elon Musk start buying silver and selling his Bitcoin. Elon Musk has talked about physical gold, transferring all of his money from his companies into physical gold and something else. So we know he knows about precious metals. He knows about the intrinsic value of physical. He did go into digital side as well, which I think Mike Maloney or no David Morgan warned him about in one of the articles, because I have made a video about this before. But I love this topic because especially you in the comments always make some really good points. So we're going to be listening to this interview because David Morgan makes some extremely good points. I'm going to be pausing the video at certain times that I want to throw in my 2 cents or just talk about something that he said. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great video. Hopefully that was a nice little introduction to what this video is about. Please like the video. Please leave a comment. Share it to Elon Musk. Share it to whoever. Please like the video though and leave a comment. That helps the video get recommended and it pushes it up in the YouTube algorithm. That really does help. If you could do that for me, I would appreciate you so much. And yeah, let's get this thing going. So here's a little introduction to this interview between David Morgan. So let's talk about this. First on the agenda, are cryptos a magical creation exempt from the all-known market forces? David believes that Fibonacci will have his revenge and major retracement is inevitable. And we're not going to talk about crypto in this video, but then they discussed his open letter to Elon Musk urging him to buy silver. David Morgan's his letter to Elon Musk was really good. He made a lot of good points, and even, beyond Mike Maloney just talking about the numbers, David Morgan goes a little deeper into it. And our solar clean energy future depends on it. There's not enough silver in the world to switch over to solar and green, but that won't stop the dreamers. Did you just hear what that statement said? There's not enough silver in the world to switch over to solar and green, but that won't stop the dreamers. Solar panels only last for 10 years and then need to be replaced. Windmills aren't lasting the 20 years as expected. Social media has distorted reality and brainwashed the masses. Everything nowadays is based upon emotion. Under the current technological conditions, our green energy future isn't going to happen now or in the future. Just wait for precious metals to realize their true value. And more of not wait for precious metals to realize it. Wait for the economy. Wait for the society. Wait until Joe Biden comes out and says that his idea of this new Green Deal, which basically got him elected, isn't going to be able to happen. Yes, that pushes silver up, but have we thought about the aftermath? Where are they going to get the silver from? Innovation of mining in the Earth's crust, which there's only so much silver in the ground anyways. Are they going to kick in our front door and steal our safes? Dig up that hole in your backyard? Learn how to mine from space? Space mining is a real thing. What's going to happen? Where are they going to get the silver from? Who knows? And honestly, it's not looking too realistic. The demand of silver just exceeded over 1 billion ounces this year, 1.2 billion ounces. So since we know all this, I want to hear what David Morgan has to say in this interview. I started it at a very important part where he goes into this because I watched this. It's 27 minutes long. We're not going to watch all that. We're just going to highlight some of the main points. So I hope you enjoy this. Let's jump right into it.
Kerry, if I could be so bold as to interject, and you may be aware of this, but I wrote an open letter to Elon Musk a month and a half ago or so. And in that open letter, I talked about his projects, his companies, and need for silver. And I pointed out that silver is basically a precious metal, why the word precious means what it means, and that going forward, he would be smart, in my studied view, to warehouse or inventory some silver for his solar projects and his EVs and everything else that he's doing. Most of what he does requires silver in rather significant quantities. So, of course, I didn't expect to get
And I want to stop right here real quick because he makes a good point. It's not just Elon Musk. He is the mascot. He's the main person we could look at since he owns SpaceX and Tesla and what's the other one? Something City. But regardless, he is a prime example of someone that could be extremely affected by this. But then you have to think about everything: laptops, cell phones, dental alloys, space equipment. I mean, it's used for medical wall paint. It's used in the medical world heavily. There's colloidal silver. Silver is used in basically everything. If you want the newest, latest iPhone to come out, you better hope that they still stack silver. And then you have, the U.S. Mint that posted that there is a silver shortage, had to do a limited mintage supply of the Type 1 and Type 2 2021 Eagles, which were only around 13 million ounces. So the U.S. Mint can't even find 13 million ounces of silver. Perth Mint, the Royal Mint, said they're going to start scrapping silver out of cell phones and laptops in dire need of silver. I mean, it's becoming more apparent that people are talking about it, admitting it, and also trying to do something about it. I mean, this 2022 NASA rover is flying out to this asteroid called Psyche 16, which has $500 quintillion worth of precious metals on it. Now, when I heard that this asteroid was going to be arriving by 2026, I was like, there's no possible way that we would learn how to space mine and get mine this asteroid within, 5 years. NASA, though, is seriously looking at, and when I covered this docu-series, I at first I was like, this is just some asteroid. They're saying it's covered, but no, NASA it has a whole team focused on this. They are literally sending a rover out next year, or I guess, soon this year, essentially, to check this thing out, look at the logistics, cover up everything. I mean, this is a serious project, and I think people are starting to understand the severity of it as well. I mean, we're literally talking about the entire world going green, saving the planet. Silver could be the reason why we can't save the planet. Silver. Imagine Joe Biden coming out saying that The Green New Deal can't happen because of this one thing called silver. What do you think that would do to the price? What do you think that would do? Silver is way 10 times, 100 times more important than gold is. Gold is basically valuable because it's shiny, right? A lot of people say, precious metal, gold and silver is just valuable because it's shiny. No, silver has real world uses much farther beyond than gold. And there's already a shortage, but within the next, I would say 2023 to 2025 is when silver's true value is going to start to shine, pun intended. Anyways, let's jump back to this interview.
Direct response from Elon Musk. Who knows? I might get a letter in my mailbox from the coin master. I work with Elon. He's not going to talk to you, but I will. Keep it on the QT. Give me a call at this number, whatever. I doubt that will happen. But stranger things have happened. Believe me, stuff is showing up in front of me that I didn't expect to get that was rather eye-opening. So the point being is take his ability to move a market. Just imagine for a moment, Kerry, that Elon Musk got on his Twitter feed and said, I've decided to buy silver. If someone with that much of a following tweeted out that they're buying silver for their, inventory for their future needs, silver probably go to 65 bucks overnight. I mean, see how much it can move the Bitcoin market. And coming back to Bitcoin, when the Reddit group started, everyone was talking about Bitcoin is gold 2.0 and all that stuff. I'm neutral. Look, I'm free market. You want to buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. You want to buy gold, buy gold. You want to buy stocks, buy stocks. I think you should be diversified. But my point is that there's only 21 million Bitcoin available. But I pointed out that there's only 2 million 1,000-ounce bars of silver available. So there's 1/10 as much silver available than there is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin at the time was 60,000 per unit. And a silver bar was half that price, $30,000 per unit. So, I just tried to equate. This is how you determine value, not price. Mike Maloney's probably the best at getting people to think about what is the value of something. I'll use a current example I've used several times, Kerry. People say, well, when do you know gold's overvalued? Well, most gold bugs are well aware of the phraseology that, gold coin will buy a fine men's suit in the Roman Empire and today. Pretty much true. So let's just take that as a basis. So if a gold coin will buy a men's warehouse, a whole store full of suits, you can say gold is overvalued. And this is the kind of metric you really need to use to determine value, not price, especially in a hyperinflationary environment, which I doubt we'll see. I think we're going to see more stagflation where things we need like food and energy continue to go up in price, and stuff that we already have that might be improved, the new X phone or the Y phone or the bigger screen TV or the, Rumba robot, vacuum cleaner or whatever else is out there. I'm not against technology. I'm not a Luddite, but what I'm saying is that we'll see stagflation, which again means things we need cost more and stuff that's nice to have comes down in price.
Man, David Morgan really just hit that on the head. Talking about silver versus Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoin ever to be created and destroyed. About 17 million Bitcoin have already been mined and dug up, but then he compares that to silver. Now, I like how he compares that and also to gold, which is overvalued, which is silver translating to being undervalued. If you are an investor, wouldn't you invest into the thing that's undervalued and not overvalued? Why would you invest into something if it's already overvalued? You're not going to make much profit from that. You got to get in before the curve. When most people start buying silver, it's too late. When most people started buying Bitcoin, it was too late. I was telling people on this channel in 2016 to buy Bitcoin. $1,200. Do you hear me telling people to buy Bitcoin now when it's sitting at 40, 50, 60,000? No, I was telling people at $1,200 to buy Bitcoin. You can see old videos of me with the screen up on Coinbase, and the price of Bitcoin was literally $1,200. There's old videos of me back then when I'm talking about Bitcoin on Coinbase, and you could see the price of Bitcoin was literally $1,200 on the screen. It's too late. You missed the boat. Silver, you haven't missed the boat yet. Silver, you'll have missed the boat by 2025, over the next decade, when everyone's going to be wishing they could build a time capsule, go back in time and buy silver while we've all been buying it. Then he talks about stagflation. When things are costing more, it's why your grandparents talked about a pack of cigarettes costing 25 cents back in the day, and now a pack of cigarettes is $11 or whatever. Silver is growing premiums. Gold doesn't have a premium because gold isn't scarce. Silver, going on Amazon, buying a U.S. Eagle for $50, going on eBay, paying $45 for an American Eagle, that's not normal. But that's because silver is scarce now. There's a silver shortage, so spot price is becoming detached from what you can pay, or what you're going to have to pay for an ounce of silver. So times are getting interesting. You're going to have to learn how to adjust and adapt. And I like how he covered all of this and really wrapped it up, especially talking about Mike Maloney with that phrase of the 5-man suit, a gold coin. And I could even do that with a silver coin in something I heard years and years and years and years ago, but I still remember it. A walking Liberty $50 back in the day could get you a gallon of gas, and that same walking Liberty $50 today can still get you a gallon of gas. If you were to all of a sudden, after you got your gallon of gas back in the day with that $50, shot into a time portal and landed in today, right now, and all you had in your jeans was that same $50, you could still go get a gallon of gas with that. Back in the day, it was the face value. 50 cents could get you a gallon of gas. Nowadays, you could take that walking Liberty, walk down to your local coin shop, sell it for $10, and go get yourself a gallon of gas. That same coin can get you a gallon of gas without touching anything else in your wallet or anything. See, silver is timeless. It's priceless. You can see how face value becomes irrelevant when you're talking about something that has intrinsical value within itself.
Well, it's a fascinating study, because I saw somewhere somebody said an ounce of silver should be $1,000, and I thought that was pretty much absurd. Because when you go back to the creation of the Federal Reserve, and we saw that an ounce of gold back then was what? It was $20 an ounce or something like that.
Yeah, the face value is $20, and the official price by the ounce was $20.67. But right, that's not split hairs. Let's just call it $20.
So that's up 100-fold. You could argue that prices have gone up way, way more than that. But if gold was that, and silver was what, 50 cents an ounce?
Mm-hmm.
Then if it kept up with gold, it should be right $50 an ounce. And if you assume that consumer price index is off by 50%, then you can make an argument for $100 silver and $4,000 gold. But it's all kind of irrelevant, because the market eventually is going to set the price that it deems the value to be, right?
Now, I'll have to disagree with him on this, or maybe not disagree, but just add more to what he's saying of why he could be not necessarily wrong, but just not looking at it from the right perspective. Because, yes, if you're comparing gold to silver, let's even put gold at $2,000. The gold to silver ratio is 16-1. That puts silver at what, $250 or whatever. But you have to think about silver detaching its price from gold, taking on a life of its own. Like I said, gold has no place where silver is truly going to benefit from, where it's really going to explode from. And that's because gold isn't used in electric vehicles and solar panels. Gold has no place in that. So when silver starts to detach its price from gold, you can't compare silver's price of what it can cap at to gold's price, because silver is going to be needed and much more essential than gold ever will or ever could be. So I don't see how you could say silver would only be at this price because gold will only go to this price, when silver is detaching itself from gold. Like I said, go on AppMex and buy a gold coin, there's no premiums. Go on AppMex, buy a silver coin, there's massive premiums. It's already detaching itself and starting to do things that gold simply doesn't and won't. So I think he might, in my opinion, just be looking at it from a different perspective than I personally am. But I am curious to see what David Morgan has to say. I feel like they're both going to be sticking to that to that gold price, and I think that they should be probably looking a little deeper or thinking farther out than that, in my opinion. And let me get this straight. I'm not saying that silver will hit $1,000 like he said people were thinking, and if it did, it wouldn't be for several decades. Even $100 silver isn't going to come tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not next year. That's not realistic. It would take, like I said, probably around 2025, where things are in full effect, where silver's true value comes out. But regardless, why is silver's price so finely correlated with gold's price when they're used for two completely different things? Gold is it's a monetary metal. It's used for jewelry, rings, watches, earrings, coins, bars. Silver isn't only a monetary metal, it's an industrial metal. Silver is the best of both worlds. It's a win-win situation. Whether the economy's in good or bad shape, silver benefits. Gold only benefits when the economy's in bad shape. So I wanted to throw that out there as well, just to give a little hindsight in what I meant when I was saying that I don't necessarily agree with him.
$800. I don't know what you pay for a smartphone, Kerry, but even my discounts, it's around $800.
Yeah.
So would I pay $30 for a cell phone? Of course you would. I would. I mean, I'd much rather get it for 30 than 800. But if you paid in silver, so this is getting back to the value, the comparative value of both. So if you, first of all, there's not 1.4 billion ounces of silver mined in the world. There's roughly 1 billion, but let's say there's 1.4. So everyone that wants to could buy a smartphone for an ounce of silver. Well, that suggests for your thinking, I hope I'm not losing anybody, that the true value, if you're willing to make that swap, would be like $800. Now, that doesn't make the price 800. It doesn't. What it does present, if you're thinking, is silver undervalued or is silver overvalued? Because all the silver in the world would only buy the smartphones. Let me restate that. All the silver in the world on an annual basis would only buy the smartphone market on an annual basis. And there'd be none left over for industry, jewelry, silverware, artwork, or anything else. So I'm just pointing out how precious it is and how, again, undervalued I believe it is.
Now, I do like his smartphone reference. I think there's easier ways to get his point across than the way he did it, but regardless, you get the point. And yes, I mean, silver has many other needs than just his reference of the smartphone. So if we are looking at the demand this year exceeding 1 billion ounces, 1.2 billion ounces, by the year 2030, imagine how many billions of ounces the demand for silver will be just off electric vehicles and solar panels alone. Yeah, I've covered videos doing the numbers of the below ground supply of silver versus the above ground supply of silver versus current production, or what the production could push, and we literally won't have enough silver by the year 2030. By the year 2030, we will have ran out of silver. And that's something you got to think about. I did actually show a chart of not only just silver, but oil, copper, everything. Gas. I mean, I made a video covering every type of asset and commodity and anything you could think of when we will run out of it. And silver was number one. Gold was like number 5 or 6. And they were saying by the year like 2040 or something like that, or 2045, something like that. But silver was number one at by the year 2030, we will have ran out of silver, looking at below ground supply versus above ground supply versus production, supply and demand, etc. So it's something you got to think about. It's very important, and I don't think enough people are looking this far into it. They stop at the, oh, we're gonna get rich when they get that pretty penny, but don't think about the aftermath or what that would entail, right? We always think about, well, silver's gonna hit $100 because there's a shortage. Okay, well, if you have you ever thought about after it hits $100 because there's a shortage, you cash out or whatever, but then what? What does that mean for the world, for the economy? Then what? Play the tape through. So, anyways, yeah, I liked this interview. If you want to check out the interview deeper, I'll post a link in the description. I hope that we covered enough to get my point across and why I think this is such an important subject, topic. If you enjoyed this video, if you thought it was 1, educational, 2, informational, 3, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. Make sure you comment on this video. Please share it. Let's get this video to do well, and not for my sake, because I genuinely think that people need to watch this video and hear what not only I have to say, but David Morgan has to say as well. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.